Welcome, Scorpio, to your Scorpio March 2022 forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James. For those who are stopping by for the first time, welcome if that's the case. Great to see the subscribers back again. You know, I always send you great love and affection. And I've read for a number of you Scorpios in the last couple of weeks, haven't I? And if you'd like to have a one-on-one clairvoyant reading with me, like so many other Scorpios have done in the last month or so, then just check out the information which is in the description box below, and you can see how easy it is for that to happen from wherever you may happen to be in the world. But now, let's go and draw some cards for you, shall we? The deck this month is of a sub-Saharan African theme, which is good. Most of the protagonists in it will be people of color, which is good because we rarely see that. And from my client base, I know that many of my audience is colored. And there is Mama Staff. And there's a perfect example of it, you know, the great, beautiful artwork. Dude, this deck took several months to get to me, you know, with all this C19 business going on. There's the Four of Coins. Anyway, it finally turned up. I spent about 3 hours meditating over it overnight, and I thought I'd do this now. There is the Sun. So it is going to provide the business for you. Let's see what there is from in here. Something that looks undisturbed. And so we will pull it out because it's meant to be for you. And isn't that the case? Temperance, beautiful. Why don't I pull another one from there? Because that looks like a beautiful card. And here's another one. This is the Ace of Gourds. Gourds, of course, we'll get to in just a second. It's got this sort of this, you'll see it in just a second, this melanated sort of a look over it. Anyway, why don't you now come down, sit down here next to me as usual. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do your reading for you. Right, now see, there you are there, Scorpio, right next to the first card that you drew. But I'm going to look at this one at the bottom of this left column, just next to your Scorpio card, and it is Temperance. Let's have a look to see what is happening here, shall we? Well, Temperance bridges all gaps and brings your soul into alignment. Now, over the heart here, the heart center, there sits a pair of internal chalices where the waters flow back and forth in constant rotation. The large connected chain slides back and forth between the two like a mechanical force, keeping the soul at an equilibrium. The center point, where the infinity intersects, creates the never-ending flow of energy. And before you are able to navigate this deeper realm, you must first go through this period of integration that's happening now. Now, the life cycle, that of birth and death, is a never-ending, oscillating spiral. Once you take your last breath, you go into the vast ocean of consciousness. Here, you are challenged with finding a new sense of balance and centeredness. Life is made up of polarity, isn't it? Light, dark, black, white, big, small, masculine, feminine. And temperance is the middle range that connects each end. The life you once knew was all an illusion, and it is here that you learn that life is so much bigger than your individual concerns. Now, she's for me the daughter of the reconcilers, the bringer forth of life. And what we're talking about here for you at this moment is a combination of forces in your life, realization and action that you take based on accurate assessment. Now, maybe you might be thinking of budgeting as well and having some sort of conservative management of your affairs, but definitely there is success here for you after what may have been quite really quite elaborate dealings, and look, funnily enough, I just see you getting away with something. I see you getting out of something. Now, that can be good or bad, but it's going to be good for you. That's what I do see here. It's a time where you're going to be conscious of the need to unify opposites, balance, and your creative powers are going to be just through the roof at the moment. You know, this energy really is a challenge for you to look inward. In this phase of integrating opposites that I'm talking about, the transformation process will not tolerate any further impulses or pushes from the outside. Try to find the hidden stone within you, the diamond. You must look within. Now, what does it mean for you to find your hidden diamond? Close your eyes and visualize a fountain of energy in your body and bathe a while in this rejuvenating current. And say to yourself, I equally value the light and the dark within my own nature. I am a well-integrated person. I surrender to the transforming powers of the divine. I am an open channel for creative energy. Now, let's see what your central energy is. Oh, look at this. Look at the melanation on this card. Do you see that? It's quite interesting the way the developer has done that. And a good job by the printers too, I would suggest. Now, this is the Sun card here. Well, here the sun sits proudly with a halo of golden light emanating from its great presence. Its inner spirit rises to its crown to bask in this new glow, filled with sparkle and delight. The light within emerges, charged and ready to operate at full strength. There is a certainty of self-trust and contentment that brings release and peace to you. Now the sun, like the lion, realizes this place is a birthright that it can now act upon with grace. The time for struggle for you is over. Through all the trials that came before, you found new hope, renewal, and authenticity. The sun now casts its joyous, warm light upon you, and you can now celebrate, living life at your best and highest expression, no longer weighed down by fears and regrets. Dispose of regrets. They are anchors to the past that no longer exist. There is almost like a newfound freedom here. You are full of confidence, and take each day as it comes. You know that it is all well in the end, and that you are more than well-equipped to deal with anything life throws your way. You have proven your own strength and rightful place in this position of self-empowerment. Do you know the sun radiates as the center, in the middle of the 12 astrological signs, and bathes everything in its light. And from its interior blooms the rose of realization. Its light is the essence of clarity and highest consciousness and awareness. The sun is the source of life and represents success and abundance, and this is going to follow you in your life at the present. And this energy is going to get you through tough times. The sun is going to illuminate your path after what has been, I think, something of a trying time, hasn't it? I think you know what I'm talking about there. Well, now, embrace your goals and give it everything you've got. If you've had some tough times, and as I say, no need to dwell on them, just understand that things are now about to get better. You can move mountains at the moment. This is speaking of highly creative energy, awareness, fulfilled love relationships, wisdom, transformation. To put it in a word, the word is yes. there's success, good fortune, optimism, and happiness. The fulfillment of your wishes is possible here and now. Relax and give yourself up to the dance. The right partners will find each other. Now, what task or project is on the agenda for you now? Say to yourself, I work well in teamwork situations. I enjoy making contributions to group efforts. I am a cooperative person. Visualize the light and warmth of the sun in your chest and heart. For the next few days, remind yourself several times daily that the sun is shining in and through you, and say to yourself, I am in harmony with the divine light which fills and guides me. Well, I want to have a look at this thing here. I think I know what that is. Do you know, here, just looking at this, bear with me, I think what we have is a, in this Four of Coins, we see a young man standing guard in front of an Adobo village. Now, the Adobo were from southwest Mali. Well, they are from the southwest Mali and Burkina Faso in Africa. And he's standing in front of the village with a coin clutched in his left hand and one on top of his staff. Now, in the back, another coin acts as a door to a granary, and the fourth coin as a door to his dwelling place, his home. He is secure and continuously on the alert, I suspect, to protect against anyone who would think to encroach upon his territory. Do you know, this card represents security? You may have an opportunity to strengthen your foundation through increased assets here. It's indicative, I think, of someone with sound judgment and management of resources, someone who is self-assured and aware of their personal power. It may also be someone who is conservatively holding on to things. So don't become a hoarder or stingy, but use economy of management at this time. It can mean, you see, that you are overly defensive and need to be more vulnerable. But don't trade growth for comfort and the status quo. Now, the astrology here is particularly good for you in relation to this card, because this card in this position, with this below it, is the sun in the third decan of Capricorn. This is really the lord of earthly power in a way. Do you know, the sun in Capricorn, the third decan, the 13th to the 21st of January. Well, Capricorn is a feet on the ground, eye on the prize sort of a sign, isn't it? Have you noticed that with those people? Because those with the sun in Capricorn have a realistic, grounded approach to life that can be seen irrespective of how challenging the rest of their birth chart is. So here I see strong foundations for you and a stability. Perhaps you're having a tight rein on the budget, being financially cautious and saving for the future and protecting yourself. There is, for me, a sense that this is a very material card. There's certainly a need for you to set the ground rules around relationships with people that you have, and maybe become even more established in your character and integrity. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but just as a way of just normal growth. Life is going to be orderly for you and secure. Well, at least in some respects, because I haven't got to this woman yet. But it seems sometimes there'll be moments there where you go, oh, I feel a bit discontented. I feel like I'm a little bit barren. But certainly, these places here are like a home that can be your inner sanctuary where you find your inner voice. All these things can talk about materialistic things that you want to show off to other people. There might be a need to submit your rules and principles to life and the impulses of the heart. Is your life, your behavior, like some sort of a rigid building? Or does your life, your behavior, need more order, structure, and solidity. So kind of think of the different aspects of power that are around. Say this to yourself while you're doing that. I offer my power in the service of love. Well, let's have a look at this ace that's sitting down here, shall we? You go back down there. Sun card. You see, there's that melanation again. You should be able to sit here with me in person and you'd appreciate it even more. Now, let's have a look at this. What are we to make of this face here? Well, the Ace of Swords represents a well of pure energy. It marks the emergence of a new sense of well-being for you. You are enamored with love and bursting with creativity. You are proverbially baptized and, for a moment, find that the stains that taint your spirit are being gently cleansed and washed away, purifying the soul. It is a time when you can fully express your diverse range of emotional understanding and sink into it wholly and fully. Spiritual and psychic channels are open so that you can better receive the conscious downloads that guide you. This is a highly fertile state from which new life can be formed. So make sure that there's no unintended new life to be formed if you're doing things that form new life. Now here we are, the Ace of Waters. Well, during the formation of the universe, well, actually, if you go back to all of the sacred scriptures, be they Hebrew, on which, of course, is based the Christian and Islamic, and prior to that, the Sumerian religions on which the book of Genesis was built, and even over in the Rig Veda, water was the foundation of nearly every single life form in our system. See, the Rig Veda in India refers to the cosmic man, or Purusa, who has been born from the waters. And in the Hebrew and Christian scriptures, when God began to create the earth and the Spirit of God hovered over the waters, and that was based on the earlier books of the Sumerians, talking about Tiamat splitting the waters apart. Water was always there. Well, the same could be said for emotions and spirit as being a foundational thing, because it is from this place that you operate, that you make your decisions and judgments, find your purpose, and even experience love. Now, at the head of this card sits a gourd. Let's have a look at it again. For receiving, and as source fills you, you find an overflow that alters your state of being. Now, if you've received this card, well, as you have received this card in this position here, it's time to connect with your deepest soul need. This particularly applies to you, Scorpio. People who I think are also going to be important to you around this period, and maybe in connection with these thoughts, are Libra and Sagittarius, interestingly enough, on either side of you. But this is a great time now for new relationships, for insights, for spiritual growth, and for creative expression. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. There's nothing weak about vulnerability. There is strength in vulnerability. And expose the wounds that have refused to heal. Embrace and honor each and every feeling, even though you may not understand them even at the time. Just notice them. Now, this may prompt you to change course and find a new pathway or a new relationship. It's important to be sure that you have the clarity you need in order to know what forces truly guide you. This is a time when you should know that the cup of unconditional love is being offered to you. Will you drink from it? Now that takes us, I think, finally, doesn't it, to this lady here, who is Mama Staff. Okay. So look at you. What have you got to tell my friend, Mama? Well, Mama is the energy of fire and water. She represents adaptability, generosity, and graceful power, right? This is going to be in you. But when fire and water come together, they create the energy of, and the power that fuels this woman like a steam train. Her fire is fed with the right elements, heating the boiler and producing the steam that pulls her forward. This steamy, watery nature can also reveal itself through her feminine sensuality and eroticism, where emotional depth and passion meet. She also has a magnetism and a liveliness that lights up a room. I have to tell you that people are going to find you very physically attractive at this time, so do with that as you may. She is a brilliant and creative force, and she brings life, light, and new vigor to any situation, and she will assist those who are vulnerable and without protection. She gives those sort of people, stands up for them, looks out for them. And that's what you'll probably do, and good for you. Now, when she is grounded in equilibrium, she is a force to be reckoned with. And she's able to spearhead any project and melt every heart that she encounters. She's like the First Lady of the American theater, fierce, charming, and irresistible. And she can purify the most difficult of spirits with her intense love and generosity. Now, maybe you should be mindful of the emotional power exchanges that are going on around you at this time, because Mama Staff here, I think, also reminds you to work on your sacral energies, cultivating healthy sexual expression. See, creativity, sex, and drive reside in the sacral chakra, and so your sensuality and eroticism can be indicators of how or what you manifest into your life. Now, you will be very adaptable during this time. There'll be a persistent energy with you, and you'll exude a calm authority. Your powers of attraction, as I say, are going to be irresistible. And you'll be generous, but I've got to say that you're actually going to be intolerant and impatient with people who have opposite views with you, and you're not going to suffer any fools at all. In some respects, be careful of a self-complacent snobbery attached to relationships with other people. Look, everybody's different. We all know that. But treat everybody with respect, as you know. I think you'll have an immense capacity for friendship and love at this time, but it's going to be on your initiative. You're the one who's going to permit friendship or permit a love interest. It's not something that you're going to accede to. It's going to be initiated by you. I think you've worked on yourself and made progress, and it's time to learn how to share this with others. Let your self-realization be expressed in your daily life. How can you share what you have found for yourself with other people? And say this to yourself, because it is definitely true for you now. I am a radiant being filled with light, love, and attraction. That is the way it is for you this month. Did you like that? I certainly enjoyed providing it to you, and thank you very much for joining me for your March 2022 reading. Now, if you did enjoy it on the way out, please do me the favor of smashing the like button. It's good for the YouTube thing, the software algorithm that allows more people to see the readings. But in the meantime, I want you to remember one thing, though, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.